I know, right now is Operation Deepness and I post a Stultifera Navis video instead. But hey, done is better than unfinished. And there's still unfinished business in this ship, so let's get this done. The first of the first. In this stage, the Netherse brand starts in this part of the stage. And there were spewers coming from the western spawn point. So the idea here is to quarantine this specific section of the stage, having Ifrit to deal with this frog. Then I leave it to La Pluma to spawn kill the spewers. With all the operators set in their position, it's only a matter of skill timing. Yet, in reality, it took me multiple tries to clear this stage with this composition. Well, if you're me, you struggle a lot. This stage, along with the next 6 stages, are basically 2 of the same map with different challenges. I believe everyone knows about that by now. It all comes down to modifying the strategy used accordingly. And for this version of the map, I use stuff. I decided to utilize every known countermeasures to basically make my life easier from here on out. And speaking of SN-S1A, the spewers are invisible, so not wanting to repeat the same mistake that I did last time, I decided to ask my friends for support. And luckily enough, my friend has support Hoshi with second skill, M3. That helped me a lot in this stage. Thanks, Arya. On SNS2, both A and B is where I abuse Gnosis. I heard players have been abusing him from the beginning of the event and I couldn't agree more. Since I don't have my own Gnosis, I use Velvet's Gnosis. There were others as well, so shout out to you MVPs who assigned him as a support throughout the whole event. I'll show a snippet of those Gnosis whom I use in the clears here. Okay, back to the stage. Nothing much to say, really. Gnosis streamlined the whole process for the most part, and I brought along Rat here, Rat, to back him up during his downtime, and Surtur, just to make things a whole lot quicker. SNS3. I pity the Seaborn in this stage because the layout is basically an execution ground. Take plus attack speed from Little Handy, have your range ops face the spawn box and just win. With a composition made up mostly of snipers, Cheetos is perfect in this scenario. I find that she is a fun operator to take along in stages and I'm glad this is one of them. It's unfortunate that my April is still bench. It would have been perfect in the A side. On the side note, I brought along Shera to deal with the creepy chandelier.
Ara!
I guess out of all stages, the SNS4 variant was the hardest since it is somewhat designed closely to Annihilation. Not as much enemies as Annihilation, but it makes up for it with runners swarming you in the beginning. Thankfully, the spewers and the floaty table lamps appear separately, otherwise it would have been a nightmare to deal with. Knowing that, I had to use a slightly different strat on each stage. On the A stage, the Netherse brand was not an issue, so I was able to control it by assigning Lapland on the top lane and Jay with his silent skill on the bottom lane. Then, I purposely let Hoshi stand on an affected tile to deal with the spewers that appear later on. For B side, Gnosis makes his return and there were Netherse brand on the start of the stage. So, I use Little Handy's tag that slows down the spread, allowing me to focus more on dealing with the dodging pipes instead. And yeah, I got to bring wife along this time. Alright, final stage. I can confidently say that this was not hard. But then again, I use Ling, so that statement doesn't matter that much, doesn't it? Notice how the stage has a C-shaped high tile? Seeing this, I knew from the get-go that this is basically another execution ground stage. And just like on the EX stage, basically I throw everything at the end speaker. The Wheel of We Many. What a weird name. So what I did was having Ash and Cheetos wiping the population. Gnosis and Rat controlling the traffic, Aya and the lovely Shera to deal with the end speaker, and Ling to deal with other annoying targets. It's that simple. But then again, I use Ling, so it doesn't really matter, doesn't it?
I'm all stocked up.
海底空に積もる恨みはいつか散らん。これでどうです？全員が指先に集まる。火事には気をつけてください。私たち砂に沈み、相思いまだ報いず。ドクターよしよししてあげたくなるわね。
Alright, conclusion time. Stultifera Navis, fun event. My only gripe with it is the jank UI that I had to deal with. My fingers hurt from all those clicking just to navigate through the story, even though I basically skip all of them. Other than that, it was pretty satisfying. I feel like the difficulty is spread evenly among the enemies introduced. It's just that HG was never transparent about the silence debuff and how it works, so players who did not know about this mechanic might struggle in this event. I guess that's it for Stultifera Navis. Another chapter ended in my playthrough of Arknights. Oh god, how many years has it been? I had my fun. And I'll see you all beautiful folks again in CC9's video. I'm just going to cover permamap. I'm not going to do the dailies. Thanks for watching from yours truly. Bye for now.